Alright everyone, today we are going to see how fast Scyther can beat Pokemon Leafgreen in a solo run challenge. Let's get straight into the video. This week, I'll be going back into Pokemon Leafgreen solo runs. I've definitely not been rusty at this game, especially since I've been doing a lot of Fire Red backports on stream, so at least I've been building up my Gen 3 Fire Red Leafgreen practice, but why don't we talk about exactly what kind of Pokemon Scyther is. Our stats are kind of interesting. We have 70 HP, 110 attack, 80 defense, 55 special attack, 80 special defense, and 105 speed. So we're very fast and we can deal a lot of physical damage, so that's actually going to be quite good, especially since our main offensive type is going to be flying, because this thing only gets one bug move in the whole game, and you'll see what that is in just a second, but at least flying is a physical coverage move. In Generation 3, all flying moves are physical, so I won't have to worry about this thing's stats getting in the way of things. But why don't we take a look at its move pool as well? I did say this thing only learns one bug type move, and it does. At level 1, we get Leer and Quick Attack, and then throughout the levels we get Focus Energy, Pursuit, False Swipe, Agility, Wing Attack, Slash, Swords Dance, Double Team, and Fury Cutter. Yup, our one bug type move is Fury Cutter at level 46. That is just insanely high. I mean, we do technically get a second one. By egg move only, I can get Silverwind, only if the father happens to be Butterfree, Venomoth, Beautyfly, Dustox, Masquerain, Ledian, or Ninjask or Volbeat, so I would basically have to rely on another bug type in order to get this move. And then throughout the TMs, we hardly get anything. Our main good moves here are basically just Aerial Ace, Secret Power, and Thief. And Steel Wing. Steel Wing is also going to be very helpful later in the run, but yeah, very small learn set. So it should make the run honestly relatively simple. Honestly, some of my favorite runs to do are runs where you kind of have a lot of choices, but at the same time you don't. Because at least you don't have to think, oh man, like I need to hold on to all these moves, but how can I balance it? This thing doesn't really need to worry about that. We're also in the medium fast experience group, so we're not going to be leveling up too quickly in the early game, but at least it's not the slow level up group like Pinsir, which we will do in a few days. And also, I'm going with the Adamant Nature, as you can see in the top part of my overlay, which is plus attack minus special attack. And our ability is Swarm. This thing unfortunately doesn't get Technician until Gen 4 because Technician wasn't an ability yet. And Swarm basically just boosts bug moves by 50% at low health. And if my only bug move is Fury Cutter, this ability is 100% useless. And also, based on my moveset, you may be wondering how I'm going to defeat the first gym leader Brock. It's quite simple actually. The main plan is to get to level 15 with Pursuit on my moveset, use Focus Energy, and just spam Pursuit and hope for the best. Before I do that though, I defeat all of the bug catchers in the forest, and then I go ahead and buy my Pokeballs and potions now, because I plan, as soon as I finish Camper Liam, the Light Years Junior Trainer, in Generation 1, as soon as I defeat his Pokemon, my plan is to just Blackout Train on Brock until I eventually win, because training in the wild is going to be super slow, plus at least with Pursuit, I can knock out his Geodude relatively quickly, so it's overall just a better use of time, especially since when I beat the Geodude I always get 220 experience points. But before I talk any more about Brock, let's roll the intro. Like I mentioned before, he leads with Geodude, and then when I defeat it, he gives me a good amount of experience, and then usually the Onix knocks me out with Rock Tomb, which I am 4 times weak to, but surprisingly, I can still actually live a Rock Tomb. Cause yeah, Onix's attack stat is horrible, but it's still a 4 times Rock Tomb, you know? And anyway, this is only my second attempt against him, while Blackout training. On this attempt right here, I'm level 13, I go for Pursuit after I used a Focus Energy, it gets a critical hit, he misses Rock Tomb, I go for Pursuit again, it doesn't crit, he misses Rock Tomb again, and then the third pursuit actually gets a critical hit, and I knock out his Onix while only being level 13. I was in complete shock at this time. It was the moment I knew this is the run. This has to be the run. If I did a second run of this, I am not going to be able to replicate that luck. So, yeah, this will be the run. And because of that good luck, I get a sub 9-minute Brock split. But we're still not done yet, though. I still fight a bunch of the trainers leading up to Mount Moon because there are some very hard fights coming up ahead, such as Rival 2 and Lieutenant Surge. Yes, I said Lieutenant Surge. I am weak to electric after all. Before I go into Mount Moon, I catch a Pidgey or a Spearow for Fly, and then when I go inside of Mount Moon, I fight most of the trainers that I can, and then I even get a Paris too. I also have Thief on my learn set. You can find the TM for Thief inside of this cave. I don't think it's going to be used that much because Thief is basically just a downgrade from Pursuit, because Thief not only has the same base power as Pursuit, but it has less power points. Although I did steal a tiny mushroom from a Paris, so I guess it was worth it in the end, right? And now with Mount Moon behind us, I can enter Cerulean City. I didn't know whether to do Misty or Rival 2, but I don't outspeed the Starmie, so I decided to go for Rival 2. On his Pidgeotto, I use a turn 1 focus energy. He uses not 1 but 2 sand attacks. I keep missing my quick attacks. He crits me with Gust, and then he just keeps on hitting me, and then his Pidgeotto just completely destroys me. So, yep, there's my first reset of the run. On the next attempt, he uses a turn 1 Gust instead of a turn 1 sand attack, but as I knock him out, he still gets a sand attack off, but as long as I can defeat the Charmander. I crit him with quick attack, but unfortunately it doesn't knock it out. He hits me with Ember. Fortunately, I don't get burned and I still live. The Abra is easy, but now is the Rattata. I miss quick attack. He crits me with Tackle. I miss another quick attack and he knocks me out. So yeah, this fight is just annoying like usual. I just have to keep going at him until I get good luck with sand attack going my way. It takes until 7 resets into the run overall just for me to beat Rival 2. You may think I should have done more training in Mount Moon, but I fought almost every trainer. Like, what could I have done? I highly doubt I can get past his first Pidgeotto ever without getting at least 1 sand attack from it, so I feel like that whole fight you just have to get lucky. But trust me, this run will get easier from here. The entirety of Nugget Bridge is relatively uninteresting, although I do fight Hiker Knob here in order to have this camper move out of the way so I can get the TM for Secret Power. I teach this move right away in the place of Quick Attack. I honestly should have replaced Leer now that I think about it, just to have extra power points with Quick Attack, but whatever. I also get this Oranberry right here. I've been trying to pick this up more often when I've been doing my Pokemon Leafgreen runs offline. I think this might come in handy for an early game fight, like maybe Misty if I'm not worried about confusion. But it doesn't cost much time to pick it up. But let's go see how Misty goes. She leads off with Staryu. I have a Person Berry equipped. I use a turn 1 focus energy. She uses Harden. Secret Power does paralyze it, but unfortunately it still lives. And another Secret Power gets the crit and I knock it out. I get to level 24. I'm able to outspeed the Starmie and 2-shot it with Secret Power. So really easy Misty. And then just right outside of Cerulean, I can defeat this Rocket Grunt to get Dig. I unfortunately cannot learn the move, so I will be teaching it to my Paris later. And then I can go south to Vermilion City, heal at the Pokemon Center, buy some Super Potions, and then I can go on the SS Anne. I go to the basement right here just to get a Hyper Potion and a Super Potion. I honestly think this was a waste of time, but extra healing items are still good, you know. This is technically the earliest Hyper Potion you can get in the game, so it's not a big deal in grabbing. I also get the Brick Break TM for some reason. I thought I could learn this, but no, that's Pinsir. Pinsir can learn it, but not Scyther. That's where the mix-up was from. But anyway, let's go fight Rival 3. Secret Power almost one-shots the Pidgeotto, and then he hits me with Sand Attack. This was also when I realized in the bottom left my stat modifiers weren't showing up, but I will have that fixed for the next time I do a Leafgreen run. The fix will not be implemented for the Pinsir video because I already have it recorded, but we'll see. And then on the Raticate, I defeat it, and then I teach Swing Attack in the place of Leer. This will be my main source of damage because I will get the same type attack bonus with Wing Attack, giving it an effective power of 90, which will be way better than Secret Power. But we can't use it on Surge, obviously, because he resists it, but let's go take him on and see how he goes. I have a Cherry Berry equipped for this fight just in case. I use a Focus Energy on Voltorb, he hits me with Shockwave, and I one-shot it and the Pikachu with Secret Power. Fortunately, I don't get staticked because Secret Power is not a contact move for some reason, so it can never activate static. Next is the Raichu. Secret Power does about 3/4. He just wastes his one turn with Double Team, and then I just knock out his Raichu in the next turn. Okay, yeah, Surge was a complete pushover. I mean, like usual. I was weak to Electric and he was still a pushover. So now we are at the part of the game that I like to call the Rock Tunnel Gauntlet. There's a lot of trainers from the moment I get the bicycle to all the way to Celadon City. There are a lot of trainers I have to fight across Mount Moon and then the routes before it and after it. None of them give me any issues, not even the rock type hikers do, because I still have Thief mainly to deal special damage. But I do want to point this out, on Hiker Dudley, for some reason, his Geodude and Graveler love spamming Magnitude on a flying type Scyther. It kind of makes me wonder if they have random AI or something. Like, I need to talk to Scott or somebody about that, and I need to figure out what is going on there. He should have detected that wouldn't have dealt no damage, but I'll figure this out. I would say nothing else happened, but unfortunately, I get burned off of this guy's Growlithe, and then I end up fainting from the burn, and then I black out all the way back to Cerulean City. I did not expect his Growlithe to burn me. In the last few weeks or so of me recording videos for the new year, I have had so many problems with constantly getting burned by like 10% embers. It's really annoying me now. But now with that traumatic experience out of the way, we enter Celadon City, and this is what I like to call the start of the mid-game. I go ahead right here and pick up the PP up. I also get the coin case. I honestly have no idea why. I did not need anything in there, so I may have just been thinking of something else. And then before I do the Rocket Hideout, I decide, since I 4 times resist grass and I have Wing Attack, I can just straight up defeat Erica from here. I even defeat all of her trainers too. Her trainers are normally not good experience, but if you can one-shot absolutely everything, it's honestly worth it, especially since the beauties here give a lot of money, and I do plan to buy a lot of vitamins for this thing. But anyway, with all her trainers defeated, let's go take on the 4th gym leader, Erica. She leads off with Victory Bell. Unfortunately, she gets off a Stun Spore, but it's not too much of a big deal because I still knock it out anyway. And then the Tangela right afterwards is a one-shot, and then the Vileplume is also a one-shot. And then Erica is defeated. Next up, I go back to the Pokemon Center, get the tea for later, go to the department store to buy some Super Repels, and then I go to the 5th floor, and then I go up the stairs all the way to the rooftop. I give some drinks to this girl here to get the TMs for Safeguard, Reflect, and Light Screen. I don't plan on using any of these, I'm just going to sell them for vitamins. I will probably be doing a second vitamin buy later, but for right now, today's vitamin of the day is 4 Zincs. You may be wondering why I got Zinc. Well, here's the thing. I'll be getting Swords Dance by level up really soon. My speed stat is already super high, so I decided Zinc might be the best answer because I am generally weak to a lot of special hitting moves, so I figured Zinc may be the better call just for defensive purposes. Plus, for some reason in this game, you're just not given a lot of special defense EVs. Look before I used the vitamins. I had at least 20 to 30, even up to 60 in a lot of my stats for EVs, but I only had 4 in special defense. So I honestly think it was a good idea to get Zinc. And with the vitamins purchased and used, and I get the HM for Fly, I go to the rocket hideout, clear out the entire thing. Fortunately, the rocket grunts at the end don't cause any issues, and neither does Giovanni. So now with the Silph Scope, I can go take on Rival 4 in the Pokemon Tower. Hopefully I can one-shot his Pidgeotto this time, but I'll never know because I foolishly decided to use a turn 1 Swords Dance on it, which may not have been a good idea, but fortunately I was never punished for what I did. I still hit his Charmeleon anyway and one-shot it with Wing Attack, as well as his entire team. This is also going to be the first time I've said this in a long time, but after I send the Marowak to hell by hitting it with my wings, I rescue Mr. Fuji from her evil grasps and I get the Pokeflute as a reward. So now I can go down Cycling Road down to Fuchsia. I go ahead and get this rare candy right here, doing a nice little, side swipe while getting it. It's honestly really satisfying whenever I do that. And then at the very bottom, I can get the Max Elixir. And then as soon as I enter Fuchsia City, I want to get the tutor move Substitute as soon as possible because Substitute is extremely useful throughout the mid-game of Fire Red and Leaf Green. So I teach the move over Thief, and my moveset now consists of Wing Attack, Slash, Swords Dance, and Substitute. But when I eventually get access to Double Team by Level Up, which I do allow myself to use, I only ban the TM for Double Team. I can still use it obtained through other means, like Level Up or through Mimic or Metronome. And then while I'm in the Safari Zone, I do grab the TM for Steel Wing. I won't be using it right now, but there will come a point where I actually do need this move. And then at the very end, I get the HM for Surf, and then I can get out and fight the 5th gym leader, Koga. If you're wondering why my reset counter went up between that, I had a reset or two on one of his gym trainers with the Sandslash and Arbok, mainly from paralysis. But anyway, it's not a big deal, I at least saved before them. Anyway, on his coughing, I have the Substitute just tank the self-destruct, and then I use a Substitute on the Muck and just set up more Swords Dances as he sets up Minimize. I didn't teach Aerial Ace because I decided to sell it because I didn't think there was ever a reason to teach it, but hopefully I don't regret it. And then the Muck is defeated, the Coughing is defeated, and will the Wheezing be a one-shot? It is, and I beat Koga at around 54 minutes. As you can see on my moveset now, I just had Double Team on my moveset during these gym trainers, so this is effectively my final moveset, although I will be replacing Wing Attack much later on. I go to the Warden's house right here to get the HM for Strength, and then I can go inside Silph Co and fight a bunch of these Rocket Grunts and Scientists. I don't plan to do too much training though, because I don't really think I need it. Although I still go around the building and collect a lot of the vitamins because I plan to use almost all of the vitamins at once. Because Silph Co has so many vitamins in it, it effectively has roughly 2 of every vitamin, even HP ups. So I think it is worth it to just get them all. Although I do get a random blackout at around 57 minutes in. I was fighting the Rocket Grunt on the 9th floor that guards the heal beds, but unfortunately I get a blackout from hitting myself in confusion, but fortunately I did heal inside of Celadon, so I'm not too far away, but I decided, you know what, since I blacked out and I'm here anyway, I may as well go back to the department store and go buy some more vitamins. I sell a bunch of the vitamins, nuggets, and other things I don't need, and now that I've saved up around $68,000, I buy 4 zinc and 2 proteins. I get the protein mainly just because I just couldn't figure out what other vitamins I wanted to use, and then I use the rest of my zincs to get my EVs to 91. I honestly don't know if getting my special defense this high was necessary, but with Substitute it could help against some later threats, but I'm really not sure. I think if I were to do this run again, I could probably cut out most vitamin buys. But anyway, why don't we go take on Rival 5 now. His Pidgeot has Wing Attack and Feather Dance. It often likes to use Feather Dance turn 1, which it fortunately does, and then Wing Attack destroys my Substitute, but I don't set up another one. I go to +4, which was honestly a bit risky, and then I one-shot it with Wing Attack. Next up is the Charizard. Wing Attack one-shots it as well as the Execute. And then his Alakazam doesn't even have an attacking move, it just has Future Sight. And then the Gyarados is just a complete joke. Its best move is Dragon Rage, but Yeah, this guy was just a complete joke, but who isn't a complete joke is Giovanni here. I use a substitute and I set up my swords dances to try and sweep his whole team with wing attack. The main disadvantage of having substitute, double team, and swords dance is that I only have room for one attacking move, but fortunately with +6 attack, wing attack even one-shots the Rhyhorn, so it honestly wasn't a big deal. I remember Axew Kairisora, who helps me with a lot of the routing. He suggested having Steel Wing at this point, but I decided I should hold on to wing attack just as long as I can. And then with Giovanni defeated, I go to the 10th floor here, get this Carbos, Rare Candy, and the HP up. I use those vitamins, and I can go heal at the center and go take on Sabrina. She leads off with Kadabra. I use one double team as she uses a Calm Mind, and then I use a substitute. She's still spamming Calm Mind, and I go for one Swords Dance, and she still uses Calm Mind. Like, what is she doing? And then I just one-shot sweep her entire team with wing attack. We still have one more gym leader though before the final gym, and that is Blaine. I saved him for last obviously because I predicted Blaine was going to be the hardest gym leader for Scyther to defeat, so why don't we just go see how he goes. I'm level 47, he leads with Growlithe. I use a turn 1 double team hoping for a Fire Blast miss. I use another one, Fire Blast misses, and then unfortunately the third one hits. My overall plan is to use 3 double teams, and then substitute, and then set up one Swords Dance and sweep, but I wonder how many tries it's going to take for that strategy to actually get pulled off. I am able to get them set up at 9 resets into the run, but unfortunately his Growlithe uses Roar on me, so I lost all of my stat boosts. I honestly should have deposited my HM users before doing this, but I decided to just give it another reset or two, and then I do fortunately at 11 resets in, beat Blaine with only 5 or so HP to spare. So yeah, I really should have deposited my HM users before doing this, just so that way his Growlithe cannot use Roar. But anyway, with 7 badges obtained, let's go take on the gym leader, Warren. I'm just kidding. I like to call him that because Warren tends to be way harder of a fight than the actual gym leader. It's because Marowak is an actually decent ground type, as well as he has some good coverage, but it's mainly the Marowaks. But fortunately, due to my flying type, I'm immune to his most powerful move, Bone Meringue, so I'm able to get through this fight quite nicely. But why don't we go take on the real gym leader, Giovanni. He leads off with Rhyhorn. I use a substitute. He should be spamming Rock Blast, but the AI loves its speed control moves so much, he just spams Swords Dance on a dummy, and it doesn't even do anything. And then I use Wing Attack. It lives in red health, which is really annoying. Because look at my level, I'm level 49. If I just got one more level to level 50 due to the damage rounding threshold, I actually would have been able to one-shot it, I think, but I have double teams set up. It's not like it really matters, but once I knock out his 2 Rhyhorns, the rest of his team only takes neutral damage from Wing Attack, so I'm able to take out his whole entire team easily. So now I've gotten all 8 gym badges with a time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 24 seconds. Honestly, all of my resets, or at least most of them, were just Rival 2 and Blaine. I feel like if I just improved my strategy at Blaine and got better luck at Rival 2, this Pokemon would honestly be really good. But now we need to fight Rival 6. I use a turn 1 substitute, which honestly wasn't a good idea because of Wing Attack. I decided to set up some double teams instead. He just starts spamming Feather Dance at this point, which is nice by me, but as soon as I use a substitute, he decides to switch to Wing Attack anyway. Like, dude, come on. Once I have the substitute set up, I spam some Swords Dances, and then I sweep his whole team with Wing Attack. His Rhyhorn does live though and tried to use a Rock Blast, but fortunately it missed, which is a good thing because Rock Blast can hit through the substitute if the substitute breaks during the Rock Blast, so that would have been really, really bad if Rock Blast had hit, but Not today. As we head through Victory Road, I'm trying to think, who's going to be the hardest Elite Four member for me to take on? And my main thought was Bruno, but I do have a good move for him. You'll see. So why don't we just skip straight ahead to the Pokemon League. I heal at the center here, deposit my HM users so that way the champion's Pidgeot and the Bruno's Onix can't use Roar as I'm setting up, and then I buy some full restores and take on the final 5 trainers. Let's do this shit. Lorelei leads off with Dewgong. I used all my rare candies before this fight to get to level 61. I start off by using a couple of double teams, and then as soon as I set up 2, I immediately use a substitute, and then I go for 1 Swords Dance, 2 Swords Dance, and then after the second one, I start by spamming Wing Attack. It one-shots the Dewgong, it one-shots the Slowbro, it one-shots the Jinx, and will it one-shot the Lapras? Yes, it does. And surprisingly, not the Cloyster. But then again, the Cloyster's defense is extremely high, so I really shouldn't have been surprised. Next up is the second Elite Four member, Bruno. This is the fight where I need to have Steel Wing, because even at +6, Wing Attack is not going to do enough damage. On the first attempt against him, he breaks my substitute, so I decide to use a Steel Wing. He gets a critical hit, and then I start spamming Swords Dance on the Hitmonchan, because for some reason, he's actually trying to spam counter instead of actually using Rock Tomb. I have no idea why. I wonder if it's because I knocked out the Onix with a physical move, so maybe he's anticipating that I'm going to use Steel Wing on him, but it just gives me an excuse to set up my whole team, and then I get to the Machamp, and then unfortunately, he still survives a Steel Wing. I go for another Swords Dance. Fortunately, Steel Wing doesn't miss, because it does have a 10% chance to miss. But with Machamp defeated, the Hitmonlee and the Onix go down very easily, and then I defeat Bruno. Next up is the Ghost Elite Four member, Agatha. I did make one mistake in this run. I was supposed to teach Aerial Ace over Steel Wing, and then I would use that move for the rest of the game, but remember when I sold Aerial Ace earlier? Yeah, that was a complete mistake. I was supposed to hold on to it for this fight. It's not a big deal though. I was planning on teaching Return for the champion fight anyway. All this means is, on her first Gengar, I can't guarantee that I can skip through her double team, so it takes quite a few Steel Wings to actually hit the darn thing, but fortunately I'm able to sweep her whole team in red health, so yeah, that fight was pretty darn close. Next up is the fourth Elite Four member, Lance. I did teach Return a bit early for this fight since I chose to sell Aerial Ace like an idiot, but on the Gyarados, I used 3 double teams, I heal up with a Citrus Berry that I chose to equip for it, and then I set up some Swords Dances, and then, now, starts the sweep. I one-shot his Gyarados, Dragonite, Aerodactyl, and both of his Dragonairs. Scyther has really been cruising through the entire Elite Four so far. It's honestly been quite amazing, but we still have one more challenge. We need to fight the champion. He leads off with Pidgeot. I go for Substitute. This champion's Pidgeot likes to spam Sand Attack and Feather Dance more than anything, but the reason I deposited my HM users is because I need to avoid him using Whirlwind and undoing all of my stat gains. But then once this Pidgeot breaks my Substitute, I kind of make a bad play, and I go for a Swords Dance without putting my sub back up, and he hits me with Aerial Ace, critting me, and I survive at 2 hit points. Okay, I need to move now. Next up is the Rhydon. I use 1 Swords Dance, and then he misses Rock Tomb, and he misses it twice. Okay, The reason I was doing this is because I knew for a fact I couldn't set my substitute back up, so I was really hoping my double teams would come through for me, and they did. I knock out his Charizard, Alakazam, Exeggutor, and Gyarados, and Scyther has beaten Pokemon Leafgreen with a time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 29 seconds, with 11 resets at level 65, and a game time at the Hall of Fame of 3 hours and 37 minutes. This run was honestly not that bad to play at all. I honestly kind of enjoyed it. Of course though, the main problems with this thing was mainly just the Brock split, having to grind, but then again, I got super lucky with that Brock split. Rival 2 and Blaine gave me the most amount of problems, but funnily enough, when I got that super lucky Brock and I was able to beat him at level 13 instead of like 15 through 18, that honestly made Rival 2 worse because I was technically a lower level than I was supposed to be, but then again, Sand Attack luck will do that to you. But anyway, looking at the entire leaderboard, out of the whole top 10, Scyther is now my only bug type in the top 10. This thing unfortunately couldn't beat the likes of Entei, but it did get a time faster than Chimecho and Flygon. A lot of these runs on my Leafgreen leaderboard do need Ray ranks at some point, but I'm not going to worry about that anytime soon. I'll probably save them for like a member stream or something. We'll see. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and be sure to follow me on my socials or support me through YouTube memberships. If you do, not only you'll get access to a bunch of cool emotes, but you'll also have access to the patch files of every backport solo run we do live on the channel. So if you, for example, wanted to, I don't know, play Pokemon Blue with Buzzwole, or maybe Fire Red with Mega Glalie. Actually, I don't remember if I did Mega Glalie, but I've done a lot of stuff, okay? Yeah, if you want to play any of those, patch files are available for all members. I will be back in a few days where I'll be going through Pokemon Leafgreen with Pinsir. Hopefully that run goes better. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.